So I made some squash for the pups today, and all I did was I put some oatmeal in the bottom, and then I used this stuff for the top, and they're gonna love it. This was given to me. I did not buy this. If you go to the animal shelter, at least the one near us, then they give away different things for you to bring home for your furry friends at home. So every time you go visit the animals at the shelter, you can bring something back, and this is what I chose for these kids. It's a nice little way to give the dogs at the shelter some company, and then you get a little treat on the way back too when you come home. So now normally I make my own food for the dogs now because I have the time and I like to. And when I started making my own food for the dogs, I just look at the ingredients list, and at first I would get intimidated by all these other things, you know, the different vitamins and whatever, and then I realized that that's really not what I should be focusing on anyway. It's up here. So yeah, I can make some pretty good dog food for them. I personally wouldn't buy lamb for them because that's just not, that doesn't fit with who I am. So but they've eaten other things before that they like, and I'm sure they'll like this too. So anyway, we'll see. I'll give it to them, and I feel pretty confident that they're going to be thrilled with it. This is what I used to do. Well, sort of. When I would make food for Copper, I'd buy cans of like Puritan chicken or whatever, and I would just make some stuff and then mix it with the cans of chicken. It was really very easy, and I was working, and that was about as much cooking as I could do. So anyway, this is for the pups. Now I'm just gonna set that aside and show you what I made for James. I won't touch it to the dog food, so no worries. Anyway, it's just a squash. It's a tiger stripe from, what was it, Bay Baby Farms, I think. Anyway, I'd emailed them and asked them if their squash was edible, and it was, and so we've been eating their squash. And I put a stew in there with some quinoa sprouts on top, and sliced up some egg. And this is some sauerkraut that I'd made with caraway seeds. So we'll see what James thinks of that. He doesn't tend to like caraway, but he says he might, so we're going to try that out. Now, the pasta is just something that was given to us too, and I would rather not. This is the kind of meal that I would make when I was working and like outside of the home making income, and I just didn't have time to do more than that. And so you can go, well, you know, it's healthier. It's like I get a little bit of tasty food that I might want to eat more, and it's healthier than if I didn't have the rest of this stuff. So you're still trying to do something healthy. You're still having your own homemade sauerkraut and whatever, but you add a little bit of. So every once in a while, James likes to eat some of the stuff that is given to us that is not super great, but I didn't make it as prepared. I made it, the dry mix, I used just water, and I used shiitake mushrooms ground up instead of beef, and what else did I do? I don't know. Oh, a little bit of garlic. Nothing, you know? It was just very instant. And so that's about as much as, that's about 1/5 of the package that I've served up here. And I made it look like a lot more by spreading it out pretty thin. And so that's the calories for that. So I don't know, is it so bad to use that every once in a while if it makes your loved ones happy? I don't know. I mean, he's still eating the shiitake mushrooms in it because I've made it with shiitake, so it's not so bad, right? So that's the meal for today, December 31st. It's New Year's Eve.